Inspiration is so important within web design. Every single time I start a new website project, I always head to the web to find something that's going to inspire me and also sometimes help me provide something to the client to give them an idea of the direction that we'd like to go. Now, for whatever reason you decide to look for inspiration for your web design projects, the purpose of today's video is to share with you what is possible within Elementor. So I'm sharing with you around 9 to 10 different websites here, all that have been built within Elementor. And honestly, there are some things that I didn't even know that was possible within Elementor. So you're going to find this super useful. No matter the project, you're going to find them all very interesting in their own individual way. And I'm very confident that you'll leave today's video feeling pretty damn inspired. Let's have a look at these Elementor websites. All right, so we've got disruptors on the surface. This is a very nice composition. So we've got some overlay and text. We've got some large font typeface. We've got an image or say video playing and things are overlaid, which is quite nice. And so not only have we got the parallax, we've got scrolling effects that just keep you visually engaged or keep the user visually engaged when they're scrolling down. And don't get me wrong, sometimes things like this can be a bit distracting because if you're anything like me, I tend to find myself scrolling down a page just to see what the elements are going to do, what's going to move, what's going to come in, what the parallax looks like. So yeah, on the surface, I think this is a really, really nice site and a very, very good use of parallax within Elementor. Cool, next we've got Mess Agency. Okay, so this is very good use of bold colors and animation, and the branding is awesome as well. Like this, one thing that's really important with websites is managing to get the business's brand across, their tone of voice across, things like that. And I think this website does that really well. But scrolling down, we've got the use of losses. So we've got lines that are coming in, we've got animation, we've got parallax, we've got scrolling effects. So there's a lot going on here, but notice that it's not too much. Like it's not too crazy. Things are still very, very subtle and very nicely done. So this is a great site. The branding is on point, and I think everything above the fold looks really smart. Now, scrolling down, from a visual standpoint, personally, I don't think this looks great. I think this could be opened up a little bit. But in terms of inspiration, this again is a really, really cool site, and it's been built on Elementor. All right, so next we've got Xania. Now I like Xania because it's so simple, it's really, really minimal. And so if you are looking for minimal web design inspiration, then this is going to give you a good example of what that could look like. And again, built on Elementor. So we've got like a really nice video playing here, but what's really cool about it is there is a very subtle parallax. So there's a very, very subtle parallax happening in the background here that just gives it a bit of depth when you're scrolling. So we've got large type, we've got large typography, fonts, things are animating in as you scroll, so again it keeps you visually engaged. And yeah, I think this is a very, very smart minimal site that relies quite heavily on neutral plain colors, blacks, whites, very, very soft tones, and it lets the imagery speak volumes. Okay, so it's the imagery that's bringing in a lot of color here, and I think that's why I like it, because it's allowing the imagery to speak and everything else. Look at the form as well. Look at their use of the form. It's not like your standard conventional form where you've got an entire box surrounding it. Everything's center aligned as well, which is unusual for a form. But yes, it looks nice. So this is a cool site. All right, so again, different use of colors here. We've got a primary red, or accent red, shall I say. So that's quite a bright, bold color. So that's what's drawing attention here. We've got a play button here. We've got good use of imagery. Again, similar to the other sites that we've seen so far, we've got scrolling animations. So you're getting a real sort of varied way of how you can use scrolling animations and bringing content in onto the page as you scroll down. But in terms of visuals, in terms of structure, that's quite a conventional site, I would say. And so, I mean, in essence, I guess this one isn't out of the ordinary. I think I just really like their hero section and the use of their animated section and the use of the animation playing in the hero, just warping the different shapes. I think that adds a bit of creativity and a bit of flair up into the header. But overall, yeah, not the best, but still gives you an idea in terms of inspiration. Okay, so next we've got Urban Leaf, and although nothing groundbreaking here in terms of the build, what I want to show you is the design. It's relying quite a lot on just the black and whites. Okay, so if you are looking for a dark style website or even just a cannabis style website, you know, this is great, and it's relying heavily on photography. Again, we've got bold fonts. There's really nice use of visual hierarchy here. So we've got headings, we've got the typography, and still this is all really big text, like bigger than, you know, your standard conventional website design, but it works really well because the hierarchy is there. So we've got a scrolling effect working vertically here with the photography, but in the background we've actually got some horizontal parallax happening at the same time. So this just gives you a different way of using parallax on multiple different elements in one section of the site. And I also really like the use of keylines here within the content. So this is actually text. Okay, so they've put a keyline style on that, and they've added a horizontal parallax scrolling effect to it. All right, so the next Elementor site that is quite different actually. It's different to your conventional website, but I thought it was awesome because it has this spray paint cursor following you around. All right, and that's what actually makes this site unique. It's different. It's different to your conventional design. It's very simple. It relies quite heavily on its visuals. And so if we just click into somewhere, if we just go to Doodles, you then get that more conventional looking site where people can come on and they can purchase Doodles, but still, you know, very different to your conventional website. We don't have the typical logo. We don't have a header bar. Okay, so sometimes things can be broken in terms of conventions. But with the header bar not being at the top, it is down at the bottom. So we can look at the menu, for example, if we want to, or we can scroll down. So we've got some really cool stuff happening here. When we're scrolling down, the elements are not only rotating, but they are sticking, and then they are being merged and blended with the shape coming over the top. And so that's a really nice effect. It's a really interesting scrolling effect that can take place on a website. All right, so next we've got Chalk Talk. And again, nothing substantial happening here in terms of functionality, but I just wanted to share it with you because it's a very good use of colors. Okay, we have a very bold color of purple and we have a contrasting color of yellow. And these two colors complement each other really, really well, which is why I liked this. So if you do need to build a website that is relying quite heavily on contrasting colors, yeah, this could be a very good example to look at. So scrolling down, we have got more scrolling effects, but one thing that's really cool here with this site is the use of the background changing color. Okay, so we're moving away from that purple and we scroll, it now goes to a more pastel-y green. Okay, and then we can introduce other colors and it still works really, really well. The other thing that's great here is the use of Lottie. So we've got Lottie animation taking place here that just, it allows the user to consume the content easily within a flow. So we've got arrows appearing. So this is really cool. Like, I like this. This is amazing. And then we're back to the yellow color. So we're now yellow on purple on yellow rather than yellow on purple. And yeah, this, I like this. This is really cool. All right, next we've got Auric Capital. This is cool. I love this little subtle movement in the background here. And also, I don't know if you can see, but the cursor has changed. Okay, we've got a new cursor here. So that's one thing that people forget when doing a website is you can change the visuals of a cursor. So you can actually bring in additional branding from the business that you're working with and change and manipulate the cursor. So don't forget that. That's something that you can do. So this site's relying quite heavily on branding. You can see that we've got branded visuals. And if we click inside that, we've got a lot of stuff happening, a lot of elements being animated in, which is really nice. Like, I love the use of animation. I think this company have done it really, really well. So just clicking through, we can scroll, we've got parallax, we've got content coming in nicely, we've got horizontal content. So much happening on this site, but it's the branding that really speaks volumes, and I love it. This is really nice. This is really clever use of colors. So there's some very abstract imagery with some neutral pastel colors that seem to be complementing each other really, really well. So they've done a really good job with this site. Finally, we've got Logico. This is without a doubt the coolest site that I've seen for a long time. Okay, so everything looks pretty standard above the fold. Okay, very conventional looking. But what's really cool is when we start scrolling down and we get to here, like, it's amazing. Honestly, it's amazing. And I didn't even know that you could do this in Elementor. I had no idea that this was possible. So the fact that they've achieved this is insane. Okay, so this is an amazing way to keep a user engaged and really have a website that tells a story and guides a user through a journey and tells a story in this way. It's mind-blowing. Okay, now aside from that, everything else is pretty conventional. It looks fairly standard, but that on the homepage for me, I love it. And honestly, I don't know how that's possible. I don't know how it's been done. I haven't dug too much into it. If you have done this, or even if you know, like, guys, just let me know down in the comments. I'd really appreciate that. And yeah, this one blew my mind. So I've left it last. I absolutely loved it. I didn't know it was possible. And so yeah, go and have a look at any of these. There's loads there that have all been built in Elementor. So there are some really insane things that you can do with Elementor. And like as I said, I didn't even realize that some of these things were possible. So the fact that people are doing it in a no-code tool like Elementor and just relying on a couple of extra third-party plugins to make some of these things possible is honestly insane. It demonstrates the possibility with no-code tools, demonstrates the possibility of Elementor and the use of still creating WordPress websites today without ever touching a piece of code. So hopefully you found this video valuable. There is an end screen that's about to pop up if it hasn't done so already, with more content for you to go and check out. If you haven't done so already, please do hit subscribe. I'd really appreciate that, and give this a thumbs up if you have found it valuable, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.